What's going on, y'all? What's going on? I haven't seen anybody in the chat, but that should change soon. I'm not worried. I'm really excited to get started on this book, guys. Recording time. Shemer and I already worked the deal out. Just got the contract to sign, and that's it. If you're new to the stream, this little intro screen, I'm doing this again. I don't know if it's more annoying than useful, but I'm sticking with it. Uh-oh. Well, at least you get the ad while it's doing this stupid intro that I made. I don't know, I need more opinions about the intro. And I need to be able to play some music during it. But I don't know how to do it with this app. They made it incredibly difficult to figure out, so I don't know. Oh man, I missed a call from Mike a half hour ago. Probably gonna tell me how to actually use the music. Nope, his phone's dead. I'm gonna go blow my nose, y'all. Get some water. Be right back. Okay, cool. I'll see you. I almost woke my wife up at 1 a.m. from laughing when I was listening to the last Warrior of Unigaya and got to the description of Jeff Vase. My favorite thing is what he had as a weapon. Alright. About to get started here pretty soon. Just getting my Twitch ready. Turned me into a cripple. You guys stop chatting on my Facebook so I could use my damn program. My application. Where's chat? There it is. All right. That's another Luke. It's another one by was it Luke Daniels, right? Who's Phil? Who's Phil? And why is he creepy? Don't be mean to Phil. How's it going, guys? Welcome to Sound Booth Theater Live. Time to get started on some life reset. Why is it doing that? There we go. That's better. So, thanks for showing up. I, as usual, forgot to set something up here. So let me do that real quick. Screen capture 3. Nope, that's not what we want. Gotta go into our settings here and make that what we do want it to be. Oh, great. Yeah, I gotta do it over here. There we go. And of course, got Silva kicking Vitor in the face instead of the chat. Where is it? There we go. Who is Phil? My hair is like I have a fro going on now because I'm not doing a good job of making sure I get my hair cut all the time. I'm still not used to it. I'm still not used to short hair. It's been like 2 years now. Almost 2 years. And still just not used to it. Well, folks, today is going to be a pretty long one because this book is gigantic. I'll go ahead and get this set up. There we go. It's 226,000 words, which is going to turn out to be somewhere between 22 and 24 hours of finished audio. Philip is one of the main characters in the Wizard 2.0 series. I actually was really interested in checking that series out, but I just haven't yet. I actually bought the first one, listened to like the first 2 chapters, and forgot about it. Excuse me. So, anyway, yeah, 226,000 words. This is the longest project by far that I've ever done, but I'm grateful for the challenge. I'm happy to be working on it. I've read like 15% of it, and I like it so far. It's really good. Let me see if I can log into Facebook here. Uh-oh. No. I always do this. Is it muted? Yes. Okay, it's muted. And these lizard voices, well, they're all goblins, so they're not really lizard voices, but they're monstrous, they're silly. What's up, Facebook people? Okay, so I'm actually kind of looking at Facebook a little bit, since we don't have YouTube either, and I can look at Twitch up here, I can look at Facebook over here, but I'm going to be recording, so I'm going to be paying more attention to Ableton than anything. But I'll be going back and forth between Facebook and Ableton, so I can kind of see what you guys are saying on Facebook. I'm going to try real hard to do that. Yeah, we're giving out audiobooks tonight. What I want to give away: Last Story of Unigaya, or Fantasy Online Hyperborea, or the other Harmon Cooper, Feedback Loop. Anything from Harmon Cooper that I've done, I'm giving away today. So there's 5 copies for anyone who makes requests. Actually, and I'll be watching the Facebook chat, so if you want to request from there or request from Twitch, we're going to experiment here, then I'll get you an audiobook. Hopefully someone is around that can keep track of these names, whoever requests. So, anywho, let's get started. All right, so what I want to do first is kind of give you an idea of what happened in well, if you look at the cover, If you look at the cover of Life Reset, let me blow it up a little bit so you can see it a little better. If you look at the cover, you'll see a goblin. That's our main character, and then there's a gobliness behind him. It's his love interest in the book. And the way the story goes is the main character has a super OP character. Has a super OP character in the game called New Era Online, and he actually was one of the first players to play, and he learned this new magic school called mana manipulation. And when he did that, he got these badges that allowed him to exclusively teach people how to use their magic, that specific type of magic. So he made a bunch of money doing that, and he started a guild, and everything was cool. And then this happened, this scene that I'm about to start here. All right, I need to get back to, first I'm going to check Facebook one more time. What's up, David Wilmarth? Oh, someone's manning the Sound Booth Theater live. Nice. All right, we got people in there too, and it's probably Mike. It's probably Mike manning the Sound Booth Theater live chat thing. So thanks for being there, Mike. All right. Yeah, that's him. All right. So there's a flashback here after the character wakes up as a goblin. And I believe this is chapter 1. And this is a weird little flashback that happens in chapter 1. I don't know, maybe I should just start from the beginning. How far is it? Yeah, it's too long. The beginning's too long. He wakes up as a goblin. He's like, how the hell did this happen? Oh yeah, flashback. So here goes. There we go. I come with great news and tidings of joy, O mighty and powerful Arladen, master of the arcane, Vatris intoned formally. I crinkled my nose. Come on, man. We've been friends for years. You can just use my real name. As you wish. He gave a mocking bow. Oh, great and powerful, Oren Berman, would you consent to grant me an audience? Something was off. Vatris was being facetious. Vatris was being facetious, of course, but there was a tone in his voice. Disrespect? Mockery? That was unusual. Vatris was usually a stickler for respect and proper etiquette. I decided to ignore it. It could have just been my imagination. How much gold did that dragon behemoth raid bring in? I asked. Not out of greed, really. Or not just out of greed. The dragon behemoth was the highest level boss our guild had ever defeated, and I wanted to know how returns from bosses of differing levels compared. Zoom a little bit more, get rid of this thingy. I think I can get rid of this as well. Yeah, that's fine. Compared. About 500,000, Vatris answered offhandedly. Did that wrong. About 500,000, Vatris answered offhandedly. I sat back in my chair, grinning broadly. As guildmaster, I was entitled to 10% of the raid loot, including the gold, which meant I was now 50,000 gold richer. That was about $5,000 in US dollars from one raid. Quite a lucrative operation. and it only took a single day to complete it. What about the rest of the loot? I pressed on. Did it drop any artifacts? He smiled. It looked unpleasant somehow. This time, I definitely detected more than a hint of something off in his behavior. But I wasn't too worried. This was my guild, after all. I was the guild master. I had all the power. We did find some epic loot, Vatris. I'm hearing something. Something's outside. Terrorizing my recording. It's not cool. Alright, we got more people. Dude, we got duplicates of me popping up in the Facebook chat. No! Did the Twitch chat get paused? Hello? Anyone there? Did Twitch get paused, anybody? No, you're still here? Okay. That was weird. Sorry, there was a train going by and I'm trying to record, so... Let me make sure. Let me see what happened here. I should wear my headphones. I don't like to. While I'm streaming, but whatever. I need to be able to hear it. Since I'm recording. Vatris replied. Epic loot, Vatris replied. The most The most interesting was this scroll. Even for an epic level item, this is pretty rare. A fitting gift for you, I think, in honor of the guild's first anniversary. Here, take a look. He shared the properties of the scroll he was holding. Spell scroll. Wait. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to use a fun little voice. It's like a neutral, it'll be a neutral voice, sort of, for the, for all the system text, all the game text and stuff, because there's some tricky stuff that happens with that. So I like to be able to differentiate that. Okay. Spell scroll. Race change. Description. An old crumbling parchment. Delete. Error. Type. Single-use item. Rank. Epic. Number 999999.9999. Effect. Thunder. Permanently change the target's race to a monster. Type. Force delete. Error. I did the same thing with Other Life Dreams when he had glitchy stuff. Is Facebook back on? John and Gully's here. How many? Okay, we got 4 viewers on Facebook. What's up, y'all? And if any of you want a free audiobook, make sure to make a request. Oh, where are we at? Here we are. I want to narrow these lanes a bit so we can see more. I need to get rid of some of these. Let's get rid of all these radios, because we definitely don't need them. And let's get rid of the bass dudes. We don't really need, at least one of them. Should be alright. Can probably get rid of Chick 3 for now. There we go. That's a little cleaner. I copy paste. Okay, so what I do with tracks, okay, and with new files and stuff, when I do an audiobook, I basically just resave the old file with no audio on it so that all the tracks are still there. And so the last book I do, it'll have, a lot of tracks that maybe I don't need, for instance, for this one, because this one, like, what I copied this off of was from M.R. Forbes's Chaos of the Covenant series. And so there's lots of radio talk. There's lots of people, with helmets where, when they talk, it comes out of a speaker in their helmet, or they're talking on the radio, or there's stuff happening on screens and stuff. So I need different radio effects for that. And I don't really need any of them for this book. So just getting rid of that was fine. All right, where were we? Okay, so the weird delete stuff. All right. I let out a soft whistle. I had heard about these scrolls. Only a handful of them has ever been found. Every prominent NPC in the game had an open bounty on them. The reward was high enough to sway even the wealthiest players. The scroll was indeed a very lucrative find, and was even rarer than artifacts. The open bounty empowered NPC traders to buy the scrolls for 1,000,000 gold, so it would be incredibly easy to sell off. Despite their sale value, such scrolls had been used on player characters a few times. The victims were turned into a random monster race and were unable to continue playing, as monsters were only allowed as NPCs. The victim would have to delete the character and start a new one from scratch. Seeing the weird code-like fragments in the scroll description, I was pretty sure that the scroll was a game bug or glitch. After all, in the gaming world, it was unheard of and undesirable for a player to have the power to permanently destroy another player's character. "That is a great find indeed, Vatris," I beamed at him. "What a nice anniversary present. We should sell it immediately. We can use the gold surplus to add another floor to the guild and recruit even more members." I'd been working on that very plan, but my available budget for guild improvements was relatively small. Vatris had that weird, smug grin on his face again, and didn't reply to my suggestion. Instead, he held up his other hand, displaying the second item. "What's that?" I asked. "Another item from the boss?"
"No," Vatris smiled unpleasantly. "This is an artifact rank imprisonment pearl."
I let out another low whistle. Imprisonment... Oh my goodness. Water time. Uh-oh, Shogun Lee. Shogun Lee wants a copy of Last Warrior. Done. Oh, thank you, Jen. I appreciate you guys being here. Hey, it's nice to be able to talk to people on Facebook. Nice, we're getting a lot of people in here. I let out another low whistle. Imprisonment pearls were powerful magical items. When invoked, they formed a magical prison around a creature and nullified all magic abilities. Escaping one was impossible. The higher the pearl's rank, the higher the level creatures and spells it could suppress. Artifact rank meant that, short of a god, it could imprison any creature in the game world. Excuse me. Take a shot. Take a you mean, of whiskey? It might help, actually. Might help loosen me up. Maybe after this section. Just thought of something. Once, if I ever get to stream on YouTube again, I am right now in the YouTube gulag. If I ever get to stream on YouTube again, they have that thing, the super chat. So maybe what I'll do for the super chat is if you donate like $10, I'll take a shot. So eventually I'll suck at recording, but it'll be more and more entertaining. And you guys will be paying me to get wasted. That sounds like fun. I don't know how that sounds to you guys. All right, let's see. Any creature in the game world. Where did you find an artifact level 1? I exclaimed. Then I narrowed my eyes. Something was definitely off here. Vatris was being disrespectful and deliberately evasive. Vatris saw my growing suspicion and gave a full-blown malevolent smile. That was my only warning. I reached to activate one of my protection wards, but I was already too late. Vatris was ready for me. He crushed the pearl, and a blazing net of cascading colors appeared all around me. I was slowed and weakened as all the powerful items I wore became inactive. "What the hell are you doing?" I shouted.
I've had it with you,
he snarled at me, slowly circling my glowing cage.
For the last 2 years, you've treated me like your errand boy. You sit comfortably, all high and mighty in your ivory tower, fat, lazy, and full of yourself, while I...
Did you guys hear that? Professional drunkard, yes, sir. Did you guys hear that big thunder? Sounded like it hit my fucking house.
Lazy and full of yourself. All high and mighty in your ivory tower.
All right, where are we at?
You sit comfortably, all high and mighty in your ivory tower, fat, lazy, and full of yourself, while I do all the work.
He spat on the floor in disgust.
You're just another stupid player who got lucky early in the game. You never really had to work hard. You didn't earn anything on your own. Everything was just handed to you. I've busted my ass recruiting people, forging the guild into a weapon, and leading us from one victory to another. I'm the reason for the guild's success, not you.
Then, in a more level tone, added,
It is time for a change in leadership, Orin.
His words outraged me. His words outraged me. Have you ever heard outrage as a verb? Outraged me. Didn't earn anything on my own? I poured my heart and soul into the game. I quit my job, uprooted my life, and he tells me I didn't earn it? How dare you! I roared. I started pounding on the barrier with my fists, to no effect. Vatris smiled as he watched me struggle.
Give it a rest, Orin. You know better than that. At least have the decency to lose with dignity. What little dignity you still have. There's no escaping this. There's no escaping. This is the end of the line for you. There's no escaping. This is the end of the line for you, my old friend.
Traitor! Scum! I yelled at him. I'm the reason people join the guild. Without my prime spells, how will you get new members to join? You can't function without me. Now, let me out! I roared. He smiled, completely at ease, despite my outburst.
You're forgetting something, oh mighty guild master. I was the first person you taught most of your spells to. After you delete your insipid character, your prime badges will transfer to the next in line. He gave a small bow. I will take good care of them. I promise.
Go to hell! I yelled. I yelled again in outrage. You'll never get away with that. The other guild members won't stand for it. I continued banging on the barrier. His laughter intensified.
You really should have mingled more with your people instead of sitting on your throne all the time.
Alex is leaving out of the garage. He's closing the garage door now. Destroyed the recording. His laughter intensified. All right. Here we go. Where to go? Where to go?
You really should have mingled more with your people instead of sitting on your throne all the time.
He looked toward the still open door, still amused, and called out,
Come on in, fellows!
Big Pill and Hiroku. All right, Hiroku. Big Pill and Hiroku were Big Pill and Hiroku were Hiroku. Big Pill and Hiroku were Big Pill and Hiroku were Vatris's buds and personal minions, so I wasn't surprised when they came in. But they were not the only ones. One by one, almost all of the other high-ranking officers, people I'd recruited personally and known for more than a year, came into the office. They all looked at me with stony faces, none of them surprised or concerned at my predicament.
You see, Orin?
Vatris smirked at me.
These people despise you. They think you're an elitist snob. Also, the rumors I've been spreading about you for months, undermining your position and sowing discontent? Undermining your position and sowing discontent didn't help with the lower ranks. And you were clueless. Everyone will be cheering me when they learn I got rid of you. And this scroll?
He waved the race change scroll he was holding.
Will let me do just that.
You are crazy, I said, trying to control my rage. That scroll is worth as much as a brand new car. You're going to throw away all that money just to get rid of me? I looked around at the stony-faced officers, trying to rally them to my support. The guild will suffer from the loss of income. Each of you will lose a significant Oops, that's a typo. The guild will suffer from the loss of income. Each of you will lose a significant bonus of your share. Vatris waved his hand dismissively.
The guild is worth much more than that. And you know it. You could, of course, show a bit of loyalty to the guild and just delete your character yourself right now and spare us wasting the scroll. The guild would indeed benefit from the gold.
I'll kill you! I shouted. The game was all I had. Here, I was the famous Arladin, the guild master, the mana master. Outside, I was a nobody. I won't go down that easily! I roared and started throwing my body against the impenetrable energy barrier again and again. The barrier easily repelled my efforts. I'll kill you all, traitors! Even without my magical enhancements, I could use mana to empower my muscles, and I had a lot of mana. I threw my level 376 character recklessly against the magic barrier. Boom! The entire floor reverberated when I hit it this time. A few books fell off one of the shelves, and cracks appeared on the floor. A few of the traders exchanged worried looks, but my prison held.
Now, Vatris almost cooed. This won't hurt a bit,
as he unrolled the scroll.
Or maybe it will. I really don't know,
he added with a shrug. Boom! More cracks appeared, and a few chunks of roof tile fell on the people in the room. But Vatris pointedly ignored my desperate efforts.
It's time for you to lose everything, Orin.
Then he started reading the scroll, casting the spell over me. I redoubled my efforts. Boom! 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 Spiderweb cracks spread around the room's floor and ceiling. But it was useless. I could feel my body changing. My equipped items fell to the ground. Everything seemed to grow bigger and bigger as I became smaller and smaller. The world started spinning around me, and my vision blurred. As though from far away, I heard,
"Happy anniversary, Master."
Okay, so that's the story of how, that's the story of how our main character became a goblin. So from here, he kind of like tries to figure out how to adjust to this world, how to adjust to being a goblin. Let's see. Now, where do I want to start? Okay. And he went to open the door for a little bit. So after that, he goes and talks to his friend. Maybe I should do that part too. He talks to his friend who actually works on the game, on New Era Online. He goes to a coffee shop and calls him. So maybe I'll do that scene real quick. I think I will. Just so you know what the stakes are for this. All right, so this is something. Okay, so he's going to be on the phone, and this is something I'm going to need that radio track for. I'll go ahead and reset the keys. We'll do this one as 3, thought as 9, and dude bass as 6. All right. All right, I think this is chapter 3. All right. Pretty sure. Yeah, chapter 3. Man, Mike's doing awesome things here. He just put up the link for the actual Amazon, the Kindle version, if you want to go pick it up now. I'm sure Shemer would appreciate it. And how many requests have we had so far for free audiobooks? I think Shogun Lee requested one. Truffle just asked for one. Take a shot. Or was it the shot that he requested for? May try and keep up with people on Facebook here. Oh, Jen Jen just requested one. Okay. So we got one for Jen and one for Shogun Lee. Oh, okay. Thanks, Truffle. We got three so far. Man, this is a bad shirt choice, to be honest. I'm sweating real bad. But I figured since I forgot to shave, that it kind of like went with the stubble. Alright, I need to set up a new locator for 3. There we go. Alright, so here we have our main character, Oren, talking to his friend, Tal, who works for the game company. So you'll see, I'm going to go ahead and just pull it up here, just to make things a little easier to watch. It's just going to be these two talking to each other. So this radio 1 is where the phone is going to be, right here. And this is going to be our man Oren talking. And then this is the narration. Alright, so I haven't come up with a voice for Tal yet. I'm not going to be stripping. This is not the Joel Frumkin show. Alright, let's see. Tal. I think I'll just do Dreamer for Tal. Dreamer, this is Dreamer's voice. So it's a little bit gravelly, but, kind of high-pitched. Sounds like kind of a laid-back guy, kind of a hippie voice a little bit. Tal answered on the second ring. What did I set it to? 3, okay.
Hi, bro. Long time no speak. How've you been? He sounded cheerful.
Hi, Tal. Good to hear you. Well, to be honest, I've seen better days. I never shared my life's downsides with him, so his voice immediately got serious and businesslike.
What happened? Anything I can do to help?
That's Tal for you. A great guy to have a few beers with in the good times, and a dependable friend through the bad ones. Well, have you ever heard of an epic spell scroll race change? I asked, and proceeded to fill him in on the details of my fall from Grace and Neo.
Oh, man. Please tell me you deleted your character right away.
His voice became alarmed. No, I replied slowly. I thought about it, but I couldn't just let all the prime badges I've accumulated go. I'll be damned if I let those bastards have them.
Listen, man. His tone became deadly serious. This is some heavy shit. You know I'm not supposed to reveal inside information, but this is a special situation.
He paused pensively, then continued.
Those scrolls are a mistake. They started off as a joke, a way for the devs to mess around with the test team. But no one foresaw the
repercussions. I always want to say repercussions. Let's see. But no one
foresaw the repercussions they would cause. But no one foresaw the repercussions they would cause. Those scrolls became a nightmare for the devs. Simply put, players are not meant to be subjected to the same system that governs NPCs. Having a player act as one was... Having a player act as one...
Where'd it go?
Having a player act as one was like opening a Pandora's box of coding glitches, bugs, and recursive loops that we just could not resolve. We learned early on how physically dangerous to players they could be.
What? Dangerous? In real life? How can anything in the game be dangerous?
Tal continued, answering my unvoiced question. The scroll soft deletes the player's old character, then initiates the character creation sequence mid-game. It assigns a random monster race to the player, then completes the character creation. The user then finds himself playing a character that isn't governed by player character rules, and that's fertile ground for severe game bugs. And a buggy system that connects directly to your brain is not a good thing. How the hell do the scrolls exist then? Why didn't you just delete them? I was outraged. It sounded like the devs had cut some corners, and now I was paying the price for their laziness. Tal chuckled. If only it were that easy. It was never meant to be part of the game, just a trial test in the alpha. But it was forgotten and overlooked, then ended up in one of the updates, and was patched into the game's servers. We've been trying to remove it ever since. We have no way to locate the scrolls that are already in circulation. We've executed more than a dozen overrides to almost every part of the game engine logic. We managed to prevent the generation of new scrolls, but by the time we did, some of them had already been generated and assigned to monsters as drops. Despite our best efforts, there are still a few bosses in Neo that carry the scrolls, ready to drop when the boss is defeated. I won't go into too much detail, but Guy has complete autonomy over those parts of the game mechanics. When the higher-ups found out about this screw-up, we ran cost estimation... Where'd it go? We ran cost estimation for an all-out effort to fix the issue. It was deemed too expensive to implement. Instead, the company placed a bounty of 1 million gold on these scrolls. That's right. The company is willing to pay $100,000 per scroll just to keep them from being used in the game. I keep getting paranoid and thinking I'm hearing a train. Maybe that is a train. Maybe not. That ought to give you an idea of how unwise it is to continue playing your goblin, bro. You gotta delete it. My brows knitted together. Tal, I still don't understand. It's common knowledge. Oh. Yeah, you probably won't be able to hear it just because it's so subtle, but in the recording it's going to ruin things, right? Because, I don't know, you might be, like, are you watching and listening through headphones, or are you watching through listening through computer speakers, or through your phone or an iPad? Just checking Facebook one more time. Excuse me. Tal, I still don't understand. It's common knowledge the scroll is used to permanently destroy a player's character by making it unplayable. Excuse me. Oh my god. I've never heard any mention of what you just told me. Tal sighed again, and for a moment I thought he wasn't going to talk any more about it. But then he continued. You are right, in a way. Most players can't play monster races because of the cerebral connection requirements. That's why players who were victims of this curse just deleted their character. They were not able to play the new character at all. It was lucky for us, since it meant it was safe to forego a complete fix, and we could settle for putting up the bounty instead. He paused, letting his words sink in. It was the most I've ever heard him speak about his job. Sodor Island? I don't know what that is. That joke's totally going over my head. Sorry. You got me, bro.
He sounded reluctant, and I didn't think it was because he was violating his NDA contract. It sounded as if he was afraid for my safety. I slowly articulated my next thoughts. Wait, Tal, what do you mean by most players can't play them? It was a different experience that I'm used to, but I had no problem playing as a goblin. What's a cerebral connection requirement?
Listen, bro. You know I'm not supposed to tell you any of these things. They could sue the shit out of me just for what I already told you.
He paused for a moment. I waited for him to continue.
Ah, screw it. You were always shitty at getting hints anyway. All right. If the big shots knew what was happening with you, they'd tell you these things themselves to get you to stop. Or,
he hesitated for a moment,
they would just ban you from the game.
Banned? My heart skipped a beat at those words. The game was my livelihood. It was like casually telling me I was going to lose one of my legs.
Anyway, you know how some people can't use Fiverr rigs? You know how some people can't use Fiverr rigs at all?
So Fiverr rigs are the VR devices that people use to play the game. Ah, Thomas the Train and Friends. You know what was great about that show? George Carlin being on a kids show. That was ironic. Yes, I thought back on what I had read a while back. Different people's minds work differently. Some people can only establish rudimentary connections, allowing them to use only the basic functions of the Fiverr, chat rooms and such. Some people can't connect at all, though it's almost unheard of.
That's right, he said approvingly. And that's because of the cerebral connection percentage. Or CCP for short. The Fiverr technology works by interfacing with billions, maybe trillions of connection points in the brain. You only need 1% connections for basic integration with the Fiverr capsule. New Era Online is a more complex simulation. It requires a whopping 3% cerebral connection. Most people, about 90% of the population, have an average of 10 to 20% cerebral connectivity.
Connectivity or connectivity?
Have an average of 10 to 20% cerebral connectivity. Have an average of 10 to 20% cerebral connectivity.
I'm going to say connectivity. Where'd it go? There it is.
About 7% of the population is below that, but still above the minimum, which is enough for a playable experience. Less than 2% of the population has more than the average connectivity.
Have an
average of 10 to 20% cerebral connectivity.
Okay, I did say connectivity.
Less than 2% of the population has more than the average connectivity ratio. Of course, the more cerebral connections your mind makes with the Fiverr, the more immersive and complete the simulation is, and the better the feedback you receive from the game.
Okay, I slowly mouthed. It was a lot of information to take in. That's pretty interesting. But how is this connected to me playing a goblin?
I'm getting to that. We've played a bit together in the past, and I noticed you always cast your magic without calling out the names of your spells. Am I right?
Yes, I shrugged. I've always only had to think about the skill or spell I want to use, and they work. I had wondered why everyone else felt it was necessary to yell the name of the spells they were casting.
That's right. 80% of the population doesn't have sufficient CCP for pure thought-based control of the game, so the game's player assist uses what they say as an activation confirmation. That's why they have to shout the names of the spells. The game initiates a spell when a player speaks the verbal command for the spell in conjunction with an intent to activate the spell. The game system determines the player's intent by recognizing the player's brain patterns, a learning process in both directions. Without this feature, players could cause havoc during a normal conversation if they accidentally said fireball. You, on the other hand, manipulate all the controls by thought only. Inventory, skills, messaging, logout, and so forth. Am I correct?
Water time. Yes, of course, I answered. I think I understand. More connections mean better control of the game. So what's the required cerebral connection percentage for playing an unplayable NPC race? He paused for a long moment.
40%, he finally replied, reluctantly. And less than 0.1% of the population can achieve that connection grade. It's pretty obvious you're one of the select few. I've suspected it for a while. That is the reason you can play as a goblin. That's also why it's so dangerous. No one has done it before, not even the testers. It is unfamiliar territory, with huge potential for serious danger to you. Software bugs are not even the worst part. You may experience headaches, sudden spells of dizziness that won't pass, or even suffer night terrors. I'm not shitting you, bro. This thing can go bad real quick. Now would you please delete that character and create a new one? I'll even help power level you. We'll get you strong enough to get those bastards in no time. What do you say?
Why 40%?
Eh?
Why do you need 40% connectivity for basically playing just a different character skin?
Oh, man. Oh, man. You're going to get me into trouble. These are trade secrets. Oh, what the hell? As we discussed, a higher connection percentage makes for a better immersion experience. Your mind sends and receives more information, which means you're interacting more fully with the game and have more control over it.
He paused again, and I could imagine him rubbing his forehead from the other end.
We pride ourselves that Neo is not just another MMORPG that respawns mindless mob after mindless mob, with the bosses as the exception, of course. Instead, we have a fully living interactive environment, okay? So how do you think there are enough monsters for players to hunt?
That question stunned me. He was right. That made no sense. A noob player could kill dozens of wolves each day. There was no way monsters could naturally reproduce fast enough to accommodate the daily massacre that millions of trigger-happy, genocide-prone players caused. Where'd it go? I have no idea, I admitted.
The answer is actually quite simple. The big secret is time.
Time?
Monsters are chronologically accelerated. By a factor... He clarified. By a factor of 12.
He let me have a moment for that bit of news to sink in.
That means that a goblin clan that was killed off can fully restore itself in about 2 weeks of real time.
What's up, Daniel Shinhofen? We do need this technology right now. It's happening, dude. Skyrim is coming. I think I'm just gonna buy. I don't have a VR set, but when Skyrim comes out, dude, man, I'm probably gonna have to get either the PS4, which I know that's silly newbie gamer shit. You know, consoles are dumb. I get it, but it's cheaper, and I'm not gonna be able to play as much as I want to. You know. But I'm getting Skyrim when it comes out on VR. I don't give a shit. Skyrim and Fallout 4. It's happening. I don't care. I'll make time to play that shit.
2 weeks of real time.
2 weeks of real time. Where'd it go?
Unintelligent mobs like wolves and such take even less time than that. That's also why undisturbed layers are so strong and high-leveled. That's also why undisturbed layers are so strong and high-leveled. They accumulated all over more time subjectively. From their perspective, they may have had years, decades, or centuries of uninterrupted development. So now you get it? Players without the required connection percentage can't perceive the accelerated time stream the game puts them in. They experience a confusing data feed their brain can't process.
Where'd it go?
They experience a confusing data feed their brain can't process, and they end up with a character that seemingly doesn't react to their commands. But you managed to overcome that. And that's dangerous, bro.
My mind was reeling. So I've been experiencing accelerated time when I played my goblin character? I couldn't tell a difference. Could it really have been only a few minutes IRL while I was meditating and getting all those quests? Tal continued after giving me a few seconds to process his latest bomb.
Do you remember that case in the news about a player named David? Not the one.
I remember coming across this and I'm not sure how to say this.
Do you remember that case in the news? Do you remember that case in the news about a player named David? Not the one Tenenbaum? The one who couldn't log out?
Yes, it was a big deal in the news. Being stuck in the game was one of the biggest fears associated with Fiverr technology. Logout had to be manually initiated by the player. Unplugging a player from outside the Fiverr could cause permanent brain damage. There were numerous fail-safe systems to safeguard players in case of network or power failures. So David Tenenbaum's case was unique.
That guy was a savant, but was also diagnosed with severe autism. His brain was a perfect receiver for connecting with the Fiverr system, had over 100% CCP. That means more than the maximum number of connections a Fiverr capsule could handle. That caused him to inadvertently tap into the time acceleration, despite the safeguards. The guy wasn't ready for the experience and was overwhelmed. He literally sat down in the game and didn't move for days. Thankfully, he didn't suffer. He was just happily soaking in data from the game until the dev team implemented a forced logout for him and...
VR with mods.
He was just happily soaking in data from the game.
Sorry, still dreaming about VR Skyrim.
He was just happily soaking in data from the game until the dev team implemented a forced logout for him from inside the game. As far as they could tell, when he came out, he wanted right back in. He goes berserk when they use the forced logout on him now. He just wants to sit on the ground, grinning his silly grin, sometimes for days. He even found a way to gather XP, like it's from thin air. Before the VR, he was moderately responsive in real life. Now he completely ignores any attempt to communicate with him in or out of the game. He's like a living vegetable that won't tolerate living on the outside. We gave his parents the ability to force him to log out, so they can take care of him.
His voice took on a sorrowful tone.
So you see, Orin, time acceleration is just one example of the dangers of full immersion in Neo. Time acceleration is just one example of the dangers of full immersion in Neo.
Shut up, computer screen. That'd be a cool penalty. Every time I make a mistake, I take a shot. I'm down. In Neo.
Don't mess around with it, man. It can screw up your mind. Come on, just delete that goblin and let's meet tonight for a beer on me. What do you say?
Alright, so I'm going to stop that scene right there. I think you guys know what he's going to do. Whew! Because you eat females.
Would you like to see my wares?
I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to change my shirt. Alright. That's a little bit better. A little bit of a sore throat. Cheers. Ah, that's better. Just checking Facebook one more time. Looks like everyone left his Facebook. It's okay. It is medicine. It's soothing. Alright. So yeah, I think you guys know where the story's going from there. So, let's go on to chapter 4. So, it's time for him to log back in. He's like, you know what? I think I can handle it. Just do an hour. We'll just play for an hour. That's like 12 hours anyway. Because if everything's moving 12 times faster. Alright. Alright, so radio needs to go away now. No. That is not what I wanted. We'll get thought up here. So that's what I use thought. Okay, so my thought track has a slight reverb and delay on it. And so that's for what I'm using it for in this is for like text, game text, or there's going to be a point where the main character actually talks to an what they call a VI. You'll see. We'll come to that. All right, so here's pretty much the beginning of chapter 4. Actually, I'll do the very beginning of chapter 4 because it's kind of funny. Four. Let's zoom in a little. 4. New Beginning. Fiverr Capsule Manual, Part 1. Intro. Alright, so let me see. I'll just put it in this track.
When prospective clients try one of our Fiverr capsules for the first time, they are pleasantly surprised by the comfortable interior of the pods. There is a common, unconscious assumption by the public that the condition of the Fiverr user's body is inconsequential during immersion. Nothing could be further from the truth. The capsule's interior is cushioned with a semi-liquid gel... The capsule's interior is cushioned with a semi-liquid gel material that actively... The capsule's interior is cushioned with a semi-liquid gel material... Man, I can't even say this. The capsule's interior is cushioned with a semi-liquid gel material that actively adapts to the user's body and movements. During immersion, the dynamic message and repositioning mechanisms... During immersion, the dynamic message and repositioning mechanisms in the capsule's interior shell, and within the mattress itself, prevent bed sores from forming while the user is in the coma-like state induced by the Fiverr experience. The capsules incorporate an array of sensors and biomonitors that comprehensively track the user's health during their VR session. Details regarding the capsule's features are reviewed in the following sections. Which we don't bother with. All right. 2 shots? Is that 2 shots? Damn it. How about just 1 sip? The system login sequence appeared in front of my eyes, as it did 1,000 times in the past. Initiating full body scan. Welcome back, Oren Berman. Please enter your password. What happened? Oh, I used the wrong one. It's okay. Just copy-paste. I gritted my teeth. Why are you Ubering home, dude? What are you talking about, Mike? What happened outside? Or are you talking as me? I'm already home, dude. I gritted my teeth and said, I'm the awesomest mage in the world. That truly was a joke now. I had to change my password as soon as possible. I had to change my password as soon as possible. Mike's not here. He's joking with you guys. Password accepted. Login in 3, 2, 1. During the countdown, the game's legal disclaimer flowed into view, as usual. Blah, blah, blah. The company won't be held responsible for any in-game mishaps. Blah, blah, including but not limited to item or monetary theft. Blah, blah. Aggressive behavior from other players is permitted, etc. I must have read those few lines 1,000 times. The countdown could be stopped so it could be read carefully, but at this point, the words were seared into my brain. The company displayed the agreement every time a user logged into Neo. Before they can enter the game, users acknowledged they played the game at their own risk, releasing the company from any liability. Excluding game bugs or technical glitches. It was just the standard corporate procedure of covering their own ass. As the countdown reached 1, the connection with my brain was fully established and my vision was replaced with darkness. Players always started with their eyes closed. It had something to do with reducing the stress from the mind as it was trying to cope with a sudden change in perspectives. I opened my eyes and looked around me. I was back in the goblin cave, standing at the entrance of the tunnel that led to the cemetery. I held up my arms and examined them intently. Like most goblins, my new character's skin was olive green. I waved my arms around. They moved normally. Was I really moving 12 times faster? I wondered. I didn't feel any different. I shook my head. It doesn't make any sense. Does it mean that if I met other players, I'd be 12 times faster than them? Would I be like the Flash in the superhero comics? But that's ridiculous. All the monsters I encountered in the past moved at normal speeds. I shrugged as I came to a simple conclusion. I guess I'll have to wait and find out. Well, I knew what I was supposed to do now. I had the basic outline of my strategy laid out. Establish myself with the Drippers clan, grind my skills and levels, gather resources, and concentrate on crafting better equipment for myself. The first step should be easy. Bogan the chieftain wanted me to prove myself to the clan. I had a strong hunch that the quest to find the huntress Tika, for the old goblin cook, Guba, was the first step. So, let's go find us a huntress. I walked into the main area. Across from me on the other side of the cavern was a large asymmetrical cave opening to what I assumed was the outside. At least, that is where the natural light and fresh air were coming from. As I walked toward the exit, I used Analyze on every goblin along the way. After talking with Tal, I realized how fortunate I was to be able to activate my skills with thoughts alone, something I had always taken for granted. Walking through the cave yelling Analyze in the face of every goblin I met was bound to land me in trouble. Goblin Worker, Level 1, 7 HP. Goblin Worker, Level 1, 7 HP. Goblin Warrior, Level 1, 22 HP. A lone goblin stood in my way. I automatically analyzed this monster just like the rest. Dirter, Goblin Totem. Dirter, Goblin Totem. Level? Question mark. Question mark. HP. Okay, this guy was different. He was old, like Guba the cook. His face was scarred from a badly healed burn, and his snarl was missing several teeth. He wore a headdress with dirty feathers sticking out and back. There were fangs, beads, and claws woven into the headband, and a garish, horned half-skull was set in the very center. He carried a gnarled, dark wooden staff capped with a fanged and horned skull. 2 black feathers trailed from a beaded cord looped around the wood. He was bare-chested, and wrapped around his waist was what could best be described as a grubby leather kilt. This ominous-looking fellow was intentionally blocking my way. I was getting an uneasy feeling, which he confirmed as soon as he opened his mouth.
"You!"
he barked.
"What were you doing in the holy ancestral burial ground?"
I looked at him, deciding how best to react. Well, they seemed to respond to force, so I moved to push past him.
What I do is my own business. Now beat it.
By the way, I changed his voice just.
What I really wanted to do was use my Abe voice from Abe's Odyssey. I don't know if you ever played that game, but I always wanted to use this voice for a main character. So I tried it, but Shemer didn't like it, so I just kind of went for I just kind of gruffed up my voice just a little bit and raised it up a little bit. Now beat it.
As I made contact to shove him out of my way, the goblin raised his staff and knocked me over the head with it. Hard. Dazed, I fell, and a system message informed me I had lost 8 health points. Trying to use force against this one was obviously not the brightest idea.
"Impudent!"
The goblin's lips curled into a sneer. The eye sockets of the skull staff began glowing a sickly yellow.
I was told you carry a sacred sacrificial dagger. Such does not belong in the hands of a pathetic wretch like you. Give it to me. Now!
I struggled up, outraged. I'd had enough bullying in the last 24 hours to last me a lifetime. I'd be damned if I let myself be bullied and robbed by a stupid low-level goblin.
No! It's mine!
Did you hear that? A weird click? I imagined it. I snarled back at him. Minus 4,000 reputation with Durder. Current rank? Hatred. Oh man, that's not good. Players that reached hatred relationship were perceived as enemies and would be attacked on sight. Grinning at him maliciously, I decided to beat him to the punch. I conjured a mana arrow, materializing a bright, pure blue dart of energy. As I launched the arrow at his head, Durder gestured with his staff, and the yellow light in the skull flared, enveloping him in an aura of yellow energy. The mana arrow struck the aura with a flash and muffled bang that had no discernible effect on the old goblin. Oh, that's so not good, I thought with a sinking feeling. Is that how they are in WoW? I've never played WoW. So... Actually, I don't remember the goblins having a New York accent and mafia personalities. Ha! What's up, Ian? Good to see you. We got anybody left in Facebook? Nope. Durder spat a word, and 2 yellow bolts shot out from the glowing eye sockets of the skull. I didn't have any time to react. The bolts slammed into me with shocking force. Then everything went black. Searing bolt hit you for 22 damage. You have died. Mike tried to say something to me, but I missed it. No permanent death penalties, as you're below level 10. A moment later, I appeared within a column of blue light in the goblin cemetery chamber, less than 100 steps from where I died. You have respawned. Death debuff 1, minus 20% XP gain. Duration, 10 minutes. Death debuff 2, disorientation. Duration, 1 minute. All right, Shogun Lee, good to see you. Anyway, make sure to private message or whisper to Sound Booth Theater so we can get your contact info so we can get you a code for a free book. I know you requested one. And by the way, I don't know how many we've given away already. So I think 3 we've given away. So I think there should be 2 more. Ian, there we go. He got one. All right, so it's just he died. Okay. That was just a fun little death scene I wanted to do. So now you know who that is. I was kind of thinking about introducing you to Tika, but her first scene is kind of not very eventful, so I'm going to skip her.
All right, so he has a few other run-ins with with Durder, and finally he's like, "How the hell? What do I do? What do I do about this?" So he goes to the chieftain to ask him about what's going on. Now the chief he completes a quest the chieftain gives him, and for completing that quest, the chieftain makes him a part of the Dripper clan. They're called the Drippers. Oh, shit. So the chieftain makes him a part of the clan. Oh, no, wait, he doesn't make him a part of the clan. He's not allowed to make him a part of the clan because Durder won't let him. So this is that exchange. And I think I'm going to finish up chapter 5 through here. It's pretty long. We'll see. We'll see how far I get. Maybe I'll find some places to skip past. The chieftain looked up as I approached. Oh yeah, we're real early in the book.
"Greeting again, young one,"
he said, with a friendly grin.
"I heard you took care of our ration supply shortage and even rescued Tika. This is good."
He winked at me and chortled.
"I also heard you got on Durder bad side. That is also good. What did you do to annoy the old fossil so?"
My eye twitched.
I refused to give him my dagger. For some reason, he took it as a personal insult. Now he attacks me on sight.
The chieftain rubbed his chin.
"That's unfortunate. You are clearly blessed by Korgoram. You also possess a holy item, and you seem to have some control over magic. I know Durder well. Those are major threats to his position, so I can understand why he is so intent on getting rid of you."
He looked me straight in the eyes and continued in a serious tone.
"Unfortunately, you cannot join our clan. Durder is my second in command and the clan's spiritual leader. For you to join us, you need his blessing as well."
He looked annoyed at the notion. His eyes narrowed.
"You know," he whispered in a conspiratory tone, "I actually am tired of the old fool's antics and his constant badgering."
He rested his chin on his hand.
"I can't act against him directly, but if he was somehow removed—"
He looked at me suggestively.
"Then nothing would prevent me from accepting you to our clan."
Quest update. Prove yourself. Bogan, the chieftain of the Drippers Goblin clan, is pleased with your accomplishments. However, he cannot accept you to the clan as long as Durder, the totem, objects. Convince Durder to accept you into the clan, or eliminate him. Quest type, unique. Reward, acceptance into the clan, increased reputation with the clan, 500 XP. Shit. That will not be easy. I scratched my cheek. Not only was Durder a higher level than me, 6 or 7 by my estimation, but he also was a boss monster. Bosses in the game were powerful specimens of their race. They were tougher, stronger, with more health and mana, and usually possessed unique powers. Durder was obviously a boss, given that he was a named monster with unusually powerful magic. A party of 4 to 6 players with levels close to the monsters was recommended to defeat a... was recommended to defeat a boss. A full raid, dozens of players working together, might be needed to defeat higher-level bosses. Durder was about 3 times my level, meaning he was 10 times more powerful. If I wanted to take him down by myself, I would need to be around level 20, maybe 15. This is crazy. How am I supposed to defeat such an overwhelmingly powerful foe on my own and without any decent equipment or buffs? I was in a difficult situation. My position was precarious and the challenges were, well, challenging. I sorely missed the benefits of a civilized city, a place where I could get some easy quests that would allow me to train up my levels in relative safety. Alas, I would have to figure some way to handle Durder. Alright, what time is it? 8:30. Okay, so we need to get kind of to the point of this. So he does something, fails, dies. Okay. So we're going to skip a little bit. I sat on the cold stone floor, one hand on my chin, my thoughts racing as different scenarios popped up in my mind, each more daring and outrageous than before. Alternatively, I could try to make some sort of a trap for the totem, or maybe I could find some sort of poison herb, sneak it into his food. I could rig a big rock to the top of the exit and have Tika lure him out to be crushed. I could try groveling. He might delay his murderous impulses to enjoy it, and I could talk him into spending his mana. He looks like a show-off. Maybe. I looked down at the slumbering form of Durder. I spent a couple of hours contemplating different methods to defeat him. I was merely passing the time to Durder's bedtime. Slowly, quietly, I drew the bone dagger from my belt. With careful movements, I knelt noiselessly at the sleeping goblin's side. He twitched in his sleep and stirred. His expression became troubled, as if some survival instinct was warning him of imminent danger. He shifted, presenting a perfect opportunity. I lunged down with all my strength and weight behind the dagger, thrusting the weapon deep into his chest, directly into his shriveled, evil heart. His body contorting in reaction, his eyes flew open wide, and he stared directly at me, stunned. Condition met. Bone dagger. Immortal blood. Enabled attributes. Sacrifice. Soulbound.
See how you like dying for a change, Scarface!
I snorted in derision. Let me snort real quick. I'm terrible at snorting, by the way. There we go. That one worked. Let me see how it sounds.
See how you like dying.
Yeah, alright, that worked.
I snorted in derision.
Looking him straight in the eyes, I gave the dagger one final twist. Be sure to give Korgrim my regards. The surprise in his eye faded as his eyes dimmed, then closed. Forever. I won. God, I love this game. I do need some snorting practice. I need, snorting lessons. A little bit. Water. A little bit of whiskey. Ooh. What's up, Dave? Dave Wilmarf. Bone dagger hit Durder for 96 damage. Sacrificed. You killed Durder. Totem Boss. Level 6. You've gained 3,000 XP.
Yeah, record some snorts, send them my way. I'll study them, and you will be my snort tutor.
Level up. Level up. You have reached character level 3. You have 1 ability point to allocate. Level up. You have reached character level 4. You have 2 ability points to allocate. That was ridiculously easy. Must be because of a sneak bonus, I muttered to myself. But something didn't add up. First, I didn't see any sneak bonus damage in the notifications. And second, even if I did, to inflict 96 damage at my current level was unheard of. Even with a critical hit and sneak bonus, I would do at most 30 points of damage. My initial plan was to deal as much surprise damage as possible, and then try to leverage my advantage to finish him off before he could recover enough to resist. I definitely did not expect to kill him outright. I definitely did not expect to kill him outright. How the hell did that happen? I wondered. More importantly, how could I make it happen again? And what was that sacrificed descriptor? It just gets weirder and weirder. I shook my head. I opened my inventory to check the bone dagger again. It changed. Instead of the previous ceremonial bone dagger, it now had a new description. Sacrificial bone dagger. Soulbound. Monster race. Description. An iconic bone dagger. Consecrated in the blood of an immortal enemy. Can be used to perform ritual sacrifice. Sacrifice. Instantly kills a helpless creature, unconscious, immobile, stunned, or restrained, as an offering to your god. Korgorim. Sacrificing worthy creatures will increase your reputation with the god. Type, weapon, one-handed. Rank, magical. Durability, 100 out of 100. Damage, 4 to 8. Effect, sacrifice. All right, let's see if we can skip a little bit more. Nope, no need. Well, maybe. Here we go. Start right here. Cleaning the blood from the dagger with a rag, I left Durder's quarters and went to see the chieftain. This time, his 2 guards were standing watch outside. Guess it was our mighty leader's bedtime, too. But I assumed he would be thrilled to hear the news and wouldn't be too upset about being woken up. The guards crossed their spears before me, preventing me from entering. I shrugged at them and called out loud, "It is done, Chief!" A few creaking noises from inside the chamber followed my shout, and a moment later Bogan appeared in the entrance, rubbing his bleary eyes. He looked a little annoyed with me.
"What do you want? What is done? What is done? What is done?"
I grinned at him mischievously. Why, our mutual problem, of course. I've sent Durder on a personal spirit voyage. A visit to Korgrim's domain. Bogan looked at me uncomprehendingly. I sighed. "Durder is dead," I enunciated clearly, looking the chief directly in his eyes. "I killed him. Now, will you honor your promise and accept me? Will you honor your promise and accept me into your clan?" Bogan continued staring at me, his mouth hanging open.
What? You actually managed to kill him? When? How? What?
It was clear he hadn't actually expected me to complete the quest. He knew how powerful the totem was compared to me. I shrugged. I finally gave him the bone dagger he wanted so much. I slipped through and it went right into his heart. But Korgorum accepted him as a sacrificial offering, so it's okay. I finished with a grin. Bogan looked at me for a few moments, then shook his head and walked out of his chambers, signaling me and his guards to follow.
No, actually, Ian, Life Reset hit 225 at one point. So, and it's still there. It's still in that top 300. Pretty exciting.
In the totem's chamber, Durder's body was still where I left it, laying in a wide puddle of blood. Bogan started laughing.
Finally! I thought our Lord intended me to pass eternity with this old fart at my side. Finally, I am free from him.
He turned to me, still grinning.
And now, as promised, I hereby accept you into our clan as our new totem.
BAE? What's BAE? What is BAE, man? Okay, that is most certainly a train. So I'm going to go ahead and stop for a little bit. Ah. I see. Which one has been out longer? Joshua Green joined. What's up, Joshua? I see you on, oh wait, maybe he joined a long time ago. And then left. Published at the same time, okay. Yeah, this is like the first time I'm looking at the Facebook stream. There's a few people who hung out there for a while, but then most of them, I think everybody moved over to Twitch. I think people just like Twitch better. Well, you know, it's had 7 books to build up that lead. So it makes sense. Well, if you're buying book 8, I'm sure you're itching to read it. Facebook was glitchy, huh? All right. All right, I think the train's gone.
As our new totem.
All right. Where to go?
Okay. I hadn't expected that. System messages started popping up. Quest completed. Prove yourself. Bogan, the leader of the Drippers clan, has accepted you into the Drippers clan and nominated you as the new Goblin Totem.
Excuse me. I think I'm probably the gassiest narrator streamer in the world. I should get an award for that. Now he's a dripper.
Where'd it go? Reward. Plus 1,000 reputation with Dripper's clan. Plus 500 XP. New title. Totem. That was great. Step 1 was done. Now all I need to do... Alert. Special condition met. Title acquired. Totem. Object inventory... Okay, this is where it gets weird. Obj.inventory.contains, parentheses, pound, sacred, sacrificial, agar, true. Obj.skills. Oh, man. Gotta keep waiting. Damn train. I think they should just... No more trains. That's my opinion. No more trains. Just need to stop having trains. Because it messes with my recording. It should be illegal. No more trains. I mean, don't they know I live over here? How rude. Obj.skills.contains, parentheses, pound, mana manipulation, parentheses, true. Obj.player, name, dot, is empty, parentheses, true. Immortals killed, 1 out of 1. Reward, boss, tier 1. I stood there, flabbergasted, my eyes locked on the final line in the message. Reward, boss. What the hell just happened? That was the moment things started to go really, really bad. A ton of messages filled my vision. Not system messages in nice, neat boxes, but plain text, superimposed all over my view, similar to the login, logout sequences. That's probably a bad way to say that. Similar to the login, logout sequences. I was only able to read bits and pieces of different ones as they scrolled madly by. Error. Incompatible character. Error. New boss detected. Reincarnating VI. VI seeding failed. Error. Incompatible interface. Error. Reset commands failed. Reset commands failed. Error. Deleting erroneous object failed. Direct GAI intervention commencing. Completed. Resolution. Generate hybrid entity. Merging interfaces. Done. Updating special conditions and rules. Done. Cleaning illegal component. Done. Oh shit. That doesn't look good. I better log out right away. My user command interface started to flicker. Oh shit, that is not good. Log out, log out, log out! I screamed the command out loud. The UI controls flickered one last time, then disappeared completely from my vision, taking along with them the logout icon. Oh shit! Suddenly my mind felt like it was on fire. Blurry images flashed by in my head, too fast to make anything out. Distant, irregular screeching filled my ears and grew, becoming overwhelmingly, painfully loud. I was in complete sensory overload. It was more than my brain could handle, and I felt myself passing out. Fade to black. Okay, so I was gonna do some of Chapter 6, but we're running out of time here. It's 8:50,
And so what we're going to do is just go to the one thing that Shemer requested that I do. This is out of chapter 26. Oh, Jen Dragonfly is asking me how long does it take to record an entire audiobook? Then how long does it take to be available in Audible? Okay. So it depends on how long the book is, right? So the average book is like 100,000 words, something like that, 90,000 words. So that usually takes me about a week of recording. But then there's editing and mastering. With me and my crew, we like to take our time and make sure everything's perfect. So it takes something like 2.5 weeks to 4 weeks, somewhere in there, to complete a book of average size. This book is going to take at least a month. Starting today, going to be finishing recording Jason Cipriano's book this week, and so this coming Monday is when I'm going to start recording the rest of this book. Recording's going to take at least 2 weeks, and then I'm going on vacation. Not really vacation. I'm going to go hang out with Blaze Corvin at DragonCon. If anyone else is going, I'll see you there. But then when I get back, probably going to have a little bit more recording to do, and then the editing and mastering and stuff. So this is going to probably get submitted mid-September, and it's going to take at least a couple weeks to go to Audible. So it's going to be like a month and a half before this is ready. But that's only because this is 226,000 words. It's probably going to be almost twice the longest book I've ever done already, which I think was Delver's LLC. All right. I got a lot of recording done today. Ding, ding. It's a lot of shit. Okay, so yeah. So Shemer requested that I read something from chapter 26. And I haven't read this part yet. So let's see how this goes, and then after that, we will be done with the stream. So thanks again, guys, for coming out. I don't know how many books we've given out. I think 4, right? 3 or 4. If anybody else wants a free audiobook, make sure to say something in the feed, and we'll take your name down. 4. I hope someone's keeping track. Okay, I think we got one for Ian and Jen, and who else? Shogun Lee asked for one. Did Truffle ask for one? Yeah, Truffle asked for one, so that's 4. We got one left. One left. So if someone wants it, make sure to say something. All right. So here goes.
Ready?
I mouthed at the twins, putting a hand on each of their shoulders as we lined up facing the palisade. Palisade? Is it palisade or palisade? I think it's palisade. Pretty sure. They both nodded gravely, readying their weapons. "Go," I said in a low voice, slapping their shoulders with my hands. And we were off. We sprinted, arms pumping, straining legs and feet to reach for more distance, for more speed. We flashed across the distance and through the ranks of the surprised ogres before they could react.
I dodged through and around the column-like legs still at a sprint. Hoshisu even jumped over an ogre that hadn't gotten up yet. I reached the wall first and prepared myself for Malkir to arrive and toss me over and into the... Damn. I reached the wall first and prepared myself for Malkir to arrive and toss me over and into the compound. The twins were almost clear of the ogres when one of the brutes finally reacted, winding up for a strike with his club. I reached out with magic, feeling for the mana circulating through the ogre's limbs. Then I willed the flow to stop, freezing the ogre's movement just as the twins darted under his raised club. Ogres sucked. That one effort had drained nearly 10% of my mana pool.
Hurry!
I urged Malkir as they rushed up to the wall.
The spell won't hold for long!
Meanwhile, the rest of the ogres had gotten over their stupor and were converging on us in a hurry, their voices rising steadily into a deafening battle cry. The roaring was sure to alert the hobgoblins in the compound, which was where Malkir was about to throw me. The hulking mana-frozen ogre was already twitching, his enormous muscles straining against the magical hold as his natural resistance fought off the spell, and the other, slower reacting ogres were almost to us, readying to charge on our position. Alright, so I did Malkir's voice before, Pallas Aedeas. And he wanted younger, but still earnest. So I think I'm going to go with Frank here, but he still wanted gravelly.
You asked for it.
How about that?
You asked for it.
Malkir half-grunted as he... Oh, half-grunted. So even rougher.
You asked for it.
Malkir half-grunted as he unceremoniously took hold of me... Malkir half-grunted as he unceremoniously took hold of me at the waist and effortlessly hefted my weight. As he lifted me from the ground and set himself to throw me, I got a brief glimpse over the wall at the structures and grounds inside the compound.
Try to aim for one of the guard towers,
I interjected quickly. Then I became a goblin projectile as Malkir spun completely around and launched me like an Olympic hammer throw. I soared through the air, the ground racing beneath me. I could see sentries running around the camp below, raising the alarm and waking the sleeping warriors. The tower I was flying toward was a simple wooden platform supported by long stilts with a guardrail and wooden siding around the platform. It suddenly occurred to me I had no means to soften the landing. An instant later, my head and shoulders crashed through the siding of the guard tower. My torso made it through the siding, but my lower half remained hanging in the air. Alright, and this is an opportunity for me to retry Vic, too. He didn't quite like Vic. He said it wasn't smart-ass enough. Unbound Deathlord is now available, so you can go check that out if you want.
You sustained fall damage. Minus 14 HP. Quest updated. Hobgoblins in the forest. You have located and infiltrated the Hobgoblin stronghold. Proceed by eliminating the enemy's leaders. Reward? Varied. XP? 500.
Luckily, the tower was empty. The sentry who manned it was probably one of the warriors running around shouting at the camp below.
Ouch. That hurt,
Vic complained in my mind. Keep watch around me. Let me know if anyone sees me or tries to flank me or something, I ordered him. The damage I sustained was negligible, and my mana had completely regenerated from stopping the ogre bash earlier. I pushed against the splintered wood siding and scrabbled for leverage to pull my body all the way into the tower, especially my backside, which was vulnerably hanging out in the open air for any hobgoblin to damn it.
What's up, Art Magus? Which was, where'd it go? Which was vulnerably hanging out in the open air for any hobgoblin to add extra, unwanted ventilation holes to it. I had to hurry. Kicking my legs madly, I pulled at the floor and pushed at the siding, finally rolling onto the tower platform. Relief washed through me, both for my backside being still intact and for not having anyone witness my very undignified little episode. Hopefully, the ogres were keeping the twins too busy to notice. They could respawn instantly. Oh my god. Why is noise happening so much today? There's someone outside bumping their bass in their car. Can you guys hear that shit? Hopefully, the ogres were keeping the twins too busy to notice. They could respawn instantly. My dignity could not. It seemed no one had noticed my flying goblin circus act, not even the crashing and sticking like a bug part. Being in relative safety, I looked around briefly. The campgrounds were filled with orderly rows of tents. Hobgoblin warriors were already crawling out of them, looking startled and disorganized. All good for me. From my position, I could see the camp was built next to a small hill that was hidden by the wall from outside view. To the side of the hill, not far from me, was an entrance of a tunnel leading downward. Light shone. Okay. Every time I see the word shone now, because I know in a British accent it's Sean, it trips me up. Light shone from the opening. Despite my less than stealthy entrance, the hobs still had... Damn it. Despite my less than stealthy entrance, the hobs still... Despite my less than stealthy entrance, the hobs still hadn't noticed me in the tower, so I stayed hidden and kept observing and making plans. Now that I was in the midst of the enemy stronghold, staring down at their forces, I suddenly realized something. Fueled by anger and fear, every sentence I have to start over. Fueled by anger and fear, I unthinkingly ran headlong into serious troubles. Despite my earlier bravado engaging the hobgoblins head... Despite my earlier bravado, engaging the hobgoblins head-on without a plan was stupid. Running aimlessly around, hoping to Running aimlessly around, hoping to somehow find Tika and keep us both alive long enough to escape was not a good option. Besides, the hobgoblins had been a scourge upon my clan for too long. All of them had to be eliminated. I don't get the gnomes rule joke. I'm sorry. I keep seeing that, and I'm like, where is that from? I keep seeing that on the Lit RPG Society and the Lit RPG group. A crazy plan started coming together in my mind. I smiled. I love it when a plan comes together. First, I needed the hobgoblins gathered into a much more concentrated group. While I was waiting for an opportunity to create the right conditions for the plan, I looked over the walls. The twins were in a running retreat headed for the forest, a horde of angry ogres. The twins were in a running retreat headed for the forest. A horde of angry ogres was gaining on them, their giant-sized legs making up for their ponderous strides.
I could see that the twins wouldn't make it to the trees in time. Malkir and Hoshisu seemed to realize it as well. Damn it. Malkir and Hoshisu seemed to realize it as well. Halfway to the forest, they stopped running and took positions between two boulders to make their final stand. The first ogre caught up to them, charging and swinging his giant club. Malkir met his charge head-on, swinging his own oversized axe. The two weapons collided with a thunderous impact, stopping each other in place. Malkir and the ogre strained against each other. Although Malkir was of the Goliath race, in comparison to the ogre, he looked more like David. However, this David was clearly at a disadvantage. Their weapons crossed. The ogre was slowly gaining the upper hand, leaning in on his club and slowly forcing Malkir to his knees. Suddenly, Hoshisu darted below her brother's raised arms. Her two daggers stabbed forward, piercing deeply into the ogre's body, nullifying his advantage and forcing him back a step. Now that he was not being pressed as sorely, Malkir swung his great axe and chopped mightily at the ogre, taking off a large chunk of hit points. The ogre retaliated, swinging his massive club. Malkir deflected. Hoshisu darted in and Hoshisu darted in and double-stabbed at the ogre, damaging him and breaking his momentum. They were an effective duo. Their fighting tactics and synchronization was amazing to watch. Their styles complemented perfectly. Malkir mostly. Malkir mostly blocked, occasionally delivering a massive hit, while Hoshisu hid behind him and occasionally darted in, impeding an attack or delivering devastating attacks of opportunity of her own. For it to work, they had to know precisely how the other one fought and thought. With their precision and teamwork, they could fight off opponents much... why am I having trouble with this one? With their precision and teamwork, they could fight off opponents much stronger than either of them individually. They were only level 8, but there was no doubt in my mind they could have defeated the ogre by it. God damn. They were only level 8, but there was no doubt in my mind they could have defeated the ogre by itself. Unfortunately, the rest of the ogres reached them after their first few clashes. The boulders hindered the ogres slightly, buying the twins a few more seconds of fighting. But then they were surrounded. A forest of clubs rose and fell on them from all sides. The health bars next to their icons on my display plummeted rapidly. I heard Malkir bellowing as he lashed out with his great axe, spinning in a large circle, injuring several ogres, pushing them back for just a beat. That moment was all Hoshisu needed. Diving below her brother's wild circular attacks, she withdrew 2 items from her belt, then dropped them on the ground. Even through the distance I could hear her scream,
"Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers!"
She was Malkir's sister, all right. The 2 grenades she'd activated exploded with a loud bang, fire and shrapnel blasting in all directions. The ogres surrounding them were all pushed back by the shockwave. The twins' icons vanished as they both died in the explosion. At least one of the ogres was dead, and all the rest were injured. Some even caught on fire and were rolling on the ground. It would take them some time to recover and carry their wounded back to the camp, significantly reducing the threat they represented. The siblings had bought me more time than I could have hoped for. I had to make the most of their sacrifice. And that's it. Should have had water in the glass and scotch in the big red mug. This is pink, dude, or fuchsia. This is probably fuchsia. But yeah, maybe I'll do that next time. All right, so thanks guys for coming to hang out with me.
while I do a little bit of life reset narrating. I'm really excited to finish off this book. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be rough. I mean, this is like, damn, dude. If I do like 3 hours, I guess 3 hours a day, 3 finished hours a day, I could do, and that would take me 8 days. I think I have 9 days on the schedule, so I might be able to finish recording before I leave for ATL, for Dragon Con, but if not, I'll still be able to finish it up as soon as I get back. But yeah, I'm real excited for this one. You guys gobbled it up, and that's why I went after it so hard for Shemer. And oh, that's right, Unbound Deathlord is 17 hours, so that would be my longest one until now. So, but yeah, let's see. I don't know if I've scheduled anything for this Sunday for a Sound Booth Theater Live. If not, there's going to be one on Wednesday, at least. Let me look at Facebook real quick and see. I set something up. Come on now. Okay, here's the request post. Alright, so the next requests only is Sunday, August 20th. What's today, the 16th? So yeah, this Sunday is the requests only. So we have, it looks like the ones that are winning the vote right now are The Artificer, a Viridian Gate online novel, DLC 1 by S.R. Witt and James A. Hunter. I'm really, really excited to work on something by James Hunter. So hopefully they like what I do with this request only. How to Avoid Death on a Daily Basis. I already did the last request only. I did one chapter of that. I'm really excited to do another one. Lots of British accents, so that's going to be a lot of fun for me. And Apocalypse Gates by Daniel Schenhofen. That looks like it's in third place right now. But let's see, we got 4 more days before Sunday, so make sure to get your votes in, y'all. There's I'm striking Everybody Loves Large Chests by Nevin Iliev off the list because we already made a deal, Nevin and I. I'm going to be producing the audiobooks for Everybody Loves Large Chests, and Nevin's still he's still getting it edited right now for the Kindle version. So we'll be releasing hopefully in September. I want to do it in September. If not, it could be October, but it's coming soon. And I'm really excited about it. I know you guys are excited about it. I don't know. Everybody Loves Large Chests has been on Sound Booth Theater Live more than anything else ever has. There's probably 4 or 5 hours of material for Everybody Loves Large Chests all over YouTube. So that's coming, guys. And yeah, if you guys have any other requests, go for it. Go try. It looks like there's a bunch of options here. Yeah, Hell's Glitch, The Path of Transcendence, and The Wandering Inn are all on the poll right now. So go on over to the Facebook, the Sound Booth Theater Live Facebook group, and see if you can see what's on the docket for the next requests only. Make your votes. Bring your friends. Tell them to vote if there's something that you like on there, or if you want something on there. If you're an author, or if you're not an author, if you're just a fan and you want to see something narrated by me, add the option. Have people come vote. And if it doesn't get voted for this time, then it'll go on. It'll automatically go on the list for the next requests only. So definitely go to the Facebook group. Please follow me on Twitch. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, even though YouTube has been racist towards me and blocked my blocked my my streaming from YouTube. Uh, Hopefully, in 3 months, I'll be back to streaming on YouTube. But also, the website is almost up by Sunday. By Sunday, the website will be up. Maybe instead of hanging out on Twitch, you can just hang out on the website. And yeah, I guess that's all for today. Keep an eye out for new releases coming up. I think we're going to be submitting book 5 of the Chaos and the Covenant series tomorrow to be published. So that'll be out in a couple weeks. Right after that, we're going to be submitting J.A. Cipriano's Kingdom of Heaven series, the first book, and probably the second book very, very soon. So lots of stuff, guys. Lots of stuff going on. Just keep an eye out. Stick to the Sound Booth Theater Live Facebook group. See what's going on. Post there if you want to start conversations. That's what it's there for. It's a place to hang out. So, again, thank you so much for coming and hang out with me on my show. And I will see you Sunday.